Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my life. It's Breeze us again, and we are today. I hope everybody is doing great. I hope the evening is going well. It's a Friday evening in the Philippines, and I think everybody's relaxed. 8 p.m. should be done with dinner. How is everyone doing? Special greetings to all my subscribers, and thank you very much for being part of this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please go straight to the subscribe button and please click that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel because we will always bring you amazing topics, amazing information, amazing content. All we do is sensitization, information, dealing with social issues that are affecting everybody, especially living in Southeast Asia, the issues that we face living in Southeast Asia as both foreigners and Filipinos, the cultural shocks, the integration, the things that scams, love issues. We deal with all these issues, and this is to help both parties better understand and integrate and live together. You know, we don't want a situation where a foreigner will say, "No, I'm not going over there again because I was scammed." You were scammed probably because you did not contact the right people, you did not meet the right people, you didn't know how to meet the right people. So our last topic was talking about how can you meet the right girl, because I know a lot of foreigners wants to come over here and get a good Filipina. So our last topic we talk about how can you meet a right girl. You cannot go to the bar like the case we covered in Cebu. No, no, like the case we covered last time in Angel City. Somebody goes to the bar, get a bar girl, get married, and then the girl goes ahead to have two babies from two different men, and none of the children is his. So this Canadian guy. So, but the question is, before you go to the bar to get a bar girl to get married to, what are you expecting? What are your expectations? You expect there's something that we call habits. Habits don't change overnight. Even if we are an alcoholic or a smoker, not to talk of bad girls that are used to, they're exposed, they're used to, freelance, a lot of things they do. They're used to contacting a lot of people, and it's a normal thing for them. And you want them to change overnight. And an alcoholic goes through a rehabilitation, reha- goes through a rehabilitation before they can change. You cannot go to the bar, come to the Philippines, go to the bar somewhere in Angel City, pick up a girl, and you expect that girl to be a good housewife. As a foreigner, what do you expect? Believe me, one out of 100 will make you a good wife. One out of 100. So if you're looking for a good wife, what do you have to do? Come over to the Philippines, spend some time with the locals, you know, go to gatherings, go to the church, go to places where you'll find genuine, hardworking Filipinas. And then you can pick one from there, and you know, you make her your wife. You get to know her. You are here. Stop going to dating sites and thinking that you'll meet somebody in a dating site that will change uh change, bring you that dream of living with your dream wife. Okay, some of them, a lot of people have met their true love on dating sites, but how many of them, are actually, you know, succeeds? So a lot of these cases we find on Senator Rafi's show every day are either due to I met somebody on Tinder, I met somebody on this dating site, that dating site, TikTok, and then we started talking. I started sending the person money, and I discovered that the person has been married before, or I discovered that this person uh, is having another boyfriend, or is dating another foreigner. All these stories, we have been getting them every day. But what can we do to change these stories? Because a lot of foreigners will still be coming over and still interested in Filipinos and the ladies in Southeast Asia. It's not only about being interested in Filipinos, it's also about coming over to do business here, you know, coming over to do business in Southeast Asia. Don't be scammed. So, welcome to the live. If you're watching, please leave a comment in the comment section. Where are you watching from? And how is the weather? How is everything going? Just drop a comment in the comment section. So, our today's topic is based on having a point of contact in the Philippines. If you're coming over to the Philippines or to Southeast Asia, Thailand, I was in Thailand for about 12 years. Before going over to Thailand, back in the days, I had somebody that I knew in Thailand that will orientate me, that will bring me up to date. That's very important. If you're going over to any country, if you're coming to Southeast Asia, the first point you need to take note is, do you have a point of contact? If you have a point of contact, somebody that you can talk to, that will orientate you, that will take you through. Let your point of contact not be your girlfriend, because a girl that you just meet on the dating site has an interest. Let your point of contact not be somebody that has an interest in you being here. You know, somebody that has an interest in you coming over to the Philippines should not be your point of contact. Okay, before I went over to Thailand, first I had somebody that I contacted and asked about the situation, the immigration laws, everything, every information I needed to know, even to the end of the point of picking me up from the airport. So these things are very important, because if you just move from Canada to the Philippines for tourism, okay, you just travel, stay at the hotel, and that is it. That's good. But let's say you want to move over here for a year or two, you know, you need to know, go to those chat groups. There are a lot of YouTubes talking about foreign expats abroad. Get to one of those comment sessions, start talking, start making comments. You know, you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot from what people are saying, and then you will certainly know who lives where. If you are coming to the Philippines, you certainly know, are you going to Cebu or you're going to Manila? Those places you are going to, who can you meet there? What bar is there that you can hang out? What place can you hang out? Where do foreigners hang out? If you're coming into the Philippines for the first time and you intend to stay here, and you are not just a tourist, I will insist that you try to have a point of contact. I think it's necessary to have a point of contact, because this person is going to guide you. Is going to guide you through your stay here in the Philippines. Another thing is, immigration needs a local reference. The immigration in the Philippines, they need a local reference. If you're trying to extend your visa, you will definitely need to provide an address. Probably not your hotel room. You know, a proper address. If you are going to live here for a long time, you need to provide a proper address. You know, someone that can confirm you are actually living in that place. So you will need those kind of contacts, someone that can actually confirm. But just be careful. Having a point of contact doesn't mean you need to spend money. Stop spending money on people on your point of contact. It doesn't mean you need to spend money. You can, somebody that will orientate you, give you the information, tell you, okay, this place is good. The cost of living in this city is better. For example, I live in Tacloban, but the cost of living here is extremely high. I have a friend there in Iloilo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. He told me the cost of living is pretty decent, and the houses and everything there, they're pretty good and spacious. You can have a nice apartment for as less or almost half of what you will have over here. So these are the kind of people that you need to be in contact with. People, and these kind of people are on the comment sections every day. These are people that come to the comment section and make their own comments. They make comments every day. Okay? Renting without a local is harder. Yes, it's true. Renting without a local, when you go to rent a place here, probably they will ask you, do you know anybody that can co-sign, to guarantee, to secure, to be sure that you have somebody that is supporting you to rent? It doesn't mean that a foreigner cannot just walk in and rent. No, you can walk in and rent. But normally, the landlords will usually prefer to know somebody that is already on ground, that can support or can translate, can assure them that the person moving into the apartment is a good person. In case you disappear or in case you do something wrong, they will have somebody to contact. It's very important. So point of contact is very, very necessary in Southeast Asia. Hey, welcome. You guys
Hello, hello. How you doing tonight?
here at the same time. Can you hear me?
I can hear you and see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Eddie,
Yes.
salute, salute. Man, how you doing? How's everybody?
Hey, bro. Welcome. I
Doing
was just
great. How
giving
you
a,
guys doing?
Pretty good.
you know how I'm doing. I just finished a loaf of cake. That's how I'm doing.
Better get away from all that sugar.
My
Man,
brother
I'm giving
Juju,
up.
welcome, bro. How you doing?
Good, man. You ain't have to rub it in my face, bro. I gave up sugar for Lent. Come on, man.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm talking about Eddie just finished eating half of a carrot cake.
I know he
that
gonna
was
come
not
in here
half.
and
That
brag.
was 80%. That was 80% of it.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's why I'm not doing no dinner. That's enough. That should take me until 1 a.m. tomorrow.
Man, I gave up sugar. I can't even eat babinka, my favorite. So I gotta wait until Easter, and then I'll go back to my regularly scheduled program of eating sweets. You know what I mean?
Keep
When is
it that
that? In
way, brother.
April?
Yeah, April, I think 17th or something like that. So I got a long
Wow.
ways.
Wow.
When is Easter? When is Easter?
Let me Google actually. I thought it was April, either the first week or the second week of April. Let me see. Easter 2026
Uh-huh.
is
See,
on
you ought to be like me, and you will have no restrictions. You can eat anything and do anything.
April the 5th, actually. Well, not too long from now. I can get through this.
Uncle Ned,
Yes,
there's one thing I would like to tell you. I have to get you to Christ very soon. I need to make sure that Jesus arrests you.
I need do what?
I need to make sure that God will arrest you very soon. You need to be arrested by Jesus.
Uh nope. I'm gonna stay Buddhist.
Bro, what is there in Buddhism? I'm not judging you, but I'm asking you, what is there? I was in Thailand and I've okay, let's not go to religious argument right now. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah.
I'm going
We
to do
should.
my best. I'm going to do my best to make sure that that um you accept Christ, you accept Jesus Christ. I mean, it may take long, but I will get there. Believe me.
Maybe maybe an eternity. You do know in Buddhism there's no sin, right? It's tailor made for a guy like you.
In Buddhism, there's no sin.
There's no such thing as sin. Did you know
How
that?
how come there's no sin? Where also, what about all the things that people do, the wrong things that people do?
If you
Committing
murder
crimes.
somebody, if you murder somebody, you rape somebody, you throw somebody off the roof, it's not a sin. It may be a bad action, it may be an action with consequences, but there's no I've got to now go and pray my rosary to ask God to forgive me. No, you already committed the sin. You already committed the act. No, it's you. You only have two things in Buddhism: good choices and bad choices. You live
Yeah,
to
I know.
try to make good choices.
I know. I've been with Buddhists, and I know that a lot of Buddhist people are really, really good people. When I talk about good people, it doesn't matter the way Christianity define them, but I know that they are good from the heart. Like, okay, I know what I have to do to avoid the consequences of life, or they call it karma, to avoid karma. So a lot of them, uh, Jojo is gone. I would have loved him to talk about sin according to the Bible. I don't know why he's gone. So,
He's out sinning.
so I just I would have loved him to talk about sin and define sin. But I think, from my own definition of sin, is doing something you willingly know that is wrong. You know, doing something you really know that is wrong is a sin. That is it. Okay. And in Buddhism says is you're bringing karma upon yourself. But in Christianity, they call it a sin because you know that this thing is wrong and you go ahead and do it. You know that looking at somebody's wife is wrong and you go ahead and do it. You know that killing somebody is wrong and you go ahead and do it. That is sin. But so tell me more about this in Buddhism. How do Buddhists see these kind of actions?
The only difference is in Christianity, you believe someone is watching and keeping score, like a referee. And if you get so many points, you lose or win the game. In Buddhism, there's no referee other than you. You learn from birth what's right and wrong. There's no need to be calling it a sin. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Um, if you and I both, if you believe in Jesus and I don't, and we both kill somebody, well, you got a strike against you. I don't. I just have to deal with the consequences of what I just did. Maybe that person has family, or maybe that person was in the mafia, or maybe uh, something that I did because of that is going to come back at me. That's karma, you know.
Hmm.
So you are just living not to get a perfect score or to get a high score to win the game and get into heaven, the pearly gates or whatever. You were living life because this is right and this is wrong. No
So
need
what
for
is the
anybody to keep score.
so what is the end result? Because Christians know that there's heaven and there's hell. So if you live a good life, a sinless life, like and nobody is perfect, like even the Bible says that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So it's by the grace of God that we are saved, and we have a second chance to repent and then to go back to God. So, what is the end result with Buddhism? Because Christians believe that okay, you repent, you get back on track, you stop doing the bad things that you have done,
Well,
and you
well,
know you
before
accept
we
Jesus.
we go to the end result, we have to understand that um, this belief in hell, even the Pope said there's no hell. And this was something that was made up not that long ago and all. So, right there tells me there's a flaw in the question. If there's no hell,
Mm,
then why would there be a heaven? Because if everybody's not going to heaven, then where are they going? So, just the mere fact that the Pope himself said hell was added to the Bible, hell was made up and did not exist way back in the day, the
mm,
whole religious thing is flawed. So rather than living for some doctrine that was written by people that are ancient and didn't understand the world they lived in, we could
mm,
just live with a very simple thing that everybody could do,
mm.
understanding what's good and what's bad. It's good to be together, sit down, happy, eating, singing, dancing, and not harm anyone. And it's bad
Right.
to make someone feel bad, hurt, or killed, or whatever, raped. All those. We know from a childhood, from birth, right and wrong. We
Right.
don't need to be taught that. We don't need to read a Bible. You instinctively are born knowing, as a little kid, not to smack the other little kid that's next to you. So you don't need a Bible to teach you that. Matter of fact, you're too young to even read or understand a Bible at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. But yet you know not to do certain things. It's in you from birth.
Yeah, you know the difference between good and bad.
You know it. All you have to do is discipline yourself to follow through. That's why the Buddhists do what they call Gangyo. There's no Bible, there's no church, there's no pastor, there's no money involved. It's just you. Your body is your church, your mind is your temple, your Bible is your brain. You sit there and say to yourself, how today, when I wake up, can I be a better person than I was yesterday?
Are
That's
they
it.
practicing? Are they practicing Buddhists and non-practicing Buddhists?
Yeah. There's no such thing as practicing and non practicing Buddhist. When you're a Buddhist, it's a way of life, it's how you live, where you know that I should not be a pedophile.
Mm,
Okay? That would be against the nature of a Buddhist, the
right.
humanity of a Buddhist. But I know that if someone is crossing the street and I'm driving a car and they're in a crosswalk, even though I'm in a rush, I'm going to be late. My boss is going to yell at me for being late. I stop.
Mm,
I don't run the person over because I'm trying to save time. I stop and say, this person deserves to cross the street in peace, even though I'm in a rush and it's going to make me late. That's self discipline. That's Buddhism. You
right.
discipline yourself to say, my impulse is to speed across the crosswalk and make them jump out the way. But my
Hmm.
humanity says, I don't have the right to make that person feel threatened and harmed. So I must discipline myself to not do it. That's all Buddhism is. No Bible, no church, no preacher.
but
Strange, isn't it?
but yeah, I was in a Buddhist country for 12 years.
Yeah,
I get the points, though I never went deep into it. But uh, a monk once told me that Buddhism is a way of life, but not a religion.
that's
We should
true.
not call it.
That's
We should not call it a religion.
that's a
You,
fact.
you are free. He said that you are free to practice the religion that you belong to, but being a Buddhist is a way of life. It means you choose the right against wrong. You choose good against evil, which
Well,
is basically almost what Christianity is talking about. Choose good
well,
over evil.
yes, but my Buddhism came when I went to Japan. And I know
Mhm,
Asia has a lot of Buddhists and all like that, and a different kind of Buddhist sects. But basically, I found out one thing about Buddhism that really shocked me. And that
mm,
is in Buddhism, you are trying to get your mind, body, and soul in tune with humanity. Meaning, when you get the right balance, you ever meet somebody that right away you never met them in your life and you didn't like them, or you meet
mm,
somebody and right away you say, I like this person.
hmm
You give off an aura of good or bad depending on your balance. If you're in the
Right,
mafia and you've been killing people all your life, you're probably going to give
right,
off a bad aura. I've run into people when I was traveling that came up to me and spoke to me and were friendly with me. And I looked
right,
at them and I felt something like, wow, I don't know why I like this person. Not because it was a pretty girl or a handsome guy or anything like that, but it was something about them that I liked. And the lady turned to me and said, how long have you been Buddhist? And I had
hmm
never met her before, never spoke to her before. And I said, wow, are you Buddhist? And she said, yes. And I said, how did you know I was Buddhist? She said, I can see it.
hmm
Which, yeah, which means she and I were imbalanced at that time in that restaurant, in that room. And there was something that made you feel this person is not a threat or a danger to me. I could just feel it. I can see it. I can sense it. We have a sixth sense that we don't use often. And that
right,
sixth sense tells you things that if you were to tune into that sixth sense, you would understand people and situations better because it's the sense that senses danger, humanity, balance, things that you need to get yourself right. But we turn that off because we are busy trying to get what we want instead of what we need.
exactly, exactly. So that I read somewhere in Buddhism, it's not. I mean, the person who wrote the book is a monk. He says that we don't realize or we don't connect with the universe because we are busy thinking about things that have we our mind keeps bringing us to things that don't actually exist. These are things that are already gone. We don't live in the moment. So this thing of living in the moment is always a mystery to me. Like, how do I live in the moment? Like, how do I connect to?
Easy,
Yeah,
easy. Okay,
tell
living
me
in the
about it.
moment. Living in the moment is you are walking down the street and you see someone off to the side that you can just tell by their face they're under stress. Something has happened and they are about to cry. They're just shaking. That moment, you can choose to walk by and say to yourself, it's not my business. I don't know what her problem is, but I got to go to work. Or you could stop, take time out of your day and say, you look like you're having a problem. Is there
Mm.
anything I can help you with?
Right.
Just that humanity of finding out maybe she lost her money or her child just ran down the alley and she's got a bad leg and can't run and get the kid, and all she needs is for you to run down the alley, look for the kid, grab him, bring him back, and she'll be on her way. Living in the moment is taking the time right now, not
Right.
tomorrow, not next week,
Right.
not another time, but right now to handle what's right in front of you in the moment.
Right. That is very, very correct. And what I will say about uh, this is, these are what we call the works. In Christianity, we both realize or recognize works, and you have the works of man and the grace that comes from God, which is a free gift. It means that, okay, I will take you back before the coming of Jesus Christ. Uh, before we used to before we used to uh, worship in the temple, and basically we take offerings to the temple to purify our whatever we have done and live by the law. And the law says, do not kill, do not steal, do not cheat, do not even look at a woman lustfully, and all those things. Those are the laws of Moses at the time. And if you remember the Ten Commandments, people used to live basically by the law. So, but now at the time when you live by the law, it was very, very hard, very hard to actually get to heaven, because nobody nobody could live 100% by the law. There was nobody that could live 100% by the law. And if you make a mistake, it's just like the laws of the US. If you commit a small crime, you have to face the judge. And then, so when Jesus come, when he came, he said, okay, I'm here not to uh I'm here to get you to give you grace, that we don't have to live by the laws, but we can repent from the things that we have done, because no one born of a woman is perfect. You understand? So there's no one on earth that has not sinned. That's why he said, we have all sinned and come short of the glory of God. So he said, I've come to restore that, to restore eternity. And for you to accept God, for you to go to heaven, to be reconnected, you have to go through him as the Son, and as the him being God himself, you know. So the only thing we need to do is to repent. And then he gave repentance, meaning, as a Buddhist, all the bad things you have done, you will face karma, right? But as a Christian, all the bad things I have done, I know that I have to pray and repent and ask God for forgiveness with a sincere heart, and ready to, to accept whatever, so as I can make amends and live a good life after that. I'm not saying I will live a perfect life. So this is the difference. This is where the difference comes from. We all do good things. There are bad people in both sides. By the way, shout out to Uncle Ned from Kuya Bebo. Bebo is, you should know him. He's the guy that wanted to supply the crops. The guy that went out to the sea. We need to go out sometime fishing with him. Bebo.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
bro.
oh yeah.
You
I
know him, right?
definitely, yes, I definitely remember him. Yes.
Yeah, Bebo. So shout out to you. So there's a slide. There's this difference is Christians or believers of Jesus Christ. I don't want to say Christians, because Christian is a full, just a group of people, but believers of Jesus Christ actually um, know that
Well, let me
with
ask you
repentance.
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. If
Hmm.
there was no heaven and no laws, would you act differently than you do now?
If there was no heaven and no laws, I will act according to my judgment.
So now that there is a heaven and there are laws, how do you act?
I still act according to my judgment, but influenced by the law.
Okay, so either way, you're acting by your judgment. So why do you need the Bible if you're using your brain, your
No,
judgment?
explain to you why I act by my judgment and influenced by the law. Now, if I'm going down the street and I meet somebody uh, in pain or something happening, it's my judgment to go down and help that person up and make sure that that person is all right, or help that person to the hospital, or call the police or call the ambulance. It's my judgment. Okay? And if I walk away, the law will not hold me liable. So that's where the law fails to intervene to humanity. Because if you decide to walk away, the law will not hold you liable for walking away. But if you go and help that person up, God will reward you. We always know that. That is why Christianity comes in. I mean, being a believer or a good person comes in to use your morals to act for humanity, you know. But another issue is if I see 5,000 here, and I know that if I pick up this 5,000 and the law will hold me liable for stealing, because nobody is seeing it. Now, there are two things. It's a wrong thing to take the money because it's not mine. Christianity condemns that. The church condemns that. The Bible condemns that. And the law will come after you. Now, these are two different instances. You have a choice to help somebody. Not the law does not force you to help anybody, but you have a choice, and it's a good thing to do. And the law says you cannot steal, and the church says you cannot steal. So now I already know that stealing is bad. But what about when I have the right to do my judgment to do something? Do I do it or not? This is where uh, it comes in. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, I still say it's coming down to common sense, what's already built into you from birth. It has nothing to do with the law. And the law, it could be a law, and the law could be wrong. One time it was not against the law to own slaves. So because it's not against the law, does that make it right or wrong? No. You still must use your own judgment. Just because they said it's not against the law to be a pedophile doesn't mean you do it. You say to yourself, this is not right. You can feel it, you can sense it, you can see it, and know it's wrong. So
Hmm.
law is made up by man. Law is flawed. Look at all the governments that are corrupt and no good, and they have laws. Okay?
Right.
Law is nothing. Even the Bible, if you go through it, there are thousands of contradictions in there that tells you that this doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. And then what we don't like about church is that when you go to a church, they don't want you questioning things. They want you to believe and accept, which means cut off all your reasoning, cut off all of your intellect, and just take in what's written in the Bible. One guy said to me one time, he said, if the Bible told me that 2 plus 2 was 7, I would believe it. And I said, I don't care who says 2 plus 2 is 7. I would not believe it because I understand educationally better than that. And that's the
Right.
difference between a Bible and no Bible. And that's why in Buddhism, there is no preacher, there is no church. They are telling you it's your life, it's your body, it's up to you to fix what's inside of it. So you wake up every day with the task of not pointing out what my neighbors are doing wrong or what my friends are falling short on, but what am I short on? What is it that I need to improve? When I get myself 100% improved, fixed, and perfect, then I have time to start working on you. But I'll never be perfect. So I don't need to point out your shortcomings. I need to take care of my shortcomings. And if we all live like that, there'd be a lot less people talking about other people's hair, height, color, wife, choices, because we have too much time to take care of ours. And that's the difference. I've met thousands of Christians and religious people over my 70 years of life. The worst people I've met on this earth have been Christians
Oh
by
my
far,
goodness.
overwhelmingly.
How can you say that?
Oh, overwhelmingly. They are judgmental, racist. Look at the people who claim to be Christians. They are the people who go to war killing people. Right now, claims to be the most religious people on earth are the Jews. And look what they're doing.
The Jews are
America is a Christian nation. They've been at
the,
war with
you know
every country but five.
you know that the Jews are not Christians, right?
The Jews are not Christians, but they believe in their type of religion. I don't want to get into what they believe in, but they believe in a God. Okay.
Hmm.
Buddhists
Hmm.
do not believe in a God. It is you, the individual, not a God,
Buddhists,
not a supernatural.
I think Buddhists believe in a supreme power or a supreme being.
No,
A supreme
no,
being,
no, no,
right?
no, no. At least no Buddhists that I know of. Maybe the Buddhists you met, but I've never heard that. Buddhists, like Buddha is not a person. Buddha is a level. Buddha translated into English means enlightenment. So when
Okay.
you reach a certain level of enlightenment, you become a Buddha. That's not a God. There's no gods in Buddhism.
But the original Buddha was a person who started
All
Buddhism.
all Buddhas are humans, and um, all Buddhas are human. Buddha just means enlightenment. That's the translation. It's like you go into college and you reach a certain level, you become a doctor, a PhD. All
What
right.
what was the name? What was the name of the guy who founded Buddhism? Like, it was a prince in India. What was his
He was,
name? Was
yeah,
it not?
Mahatma. Yeah, he was a normal person that left a wealthy family and went out seeking knowledge, life, and all.
Mhm.
And it's like all of us. We all are born and we go out into the world seeking understanding. And we could get it right or we can get it wrong, but we're out seeking. If we get it all right and we get to the point where we find peace, tranquility, and understanding and happiness and all those things, then you've reached the level of enlightenment. It's very hard to get there, but if you do, you are a Buddha. And again, that's not what Christianity is. Christianity is I want to cheat on my taxes and cheat on my wife today, and then go to the Catholic church and go inside the booth and say, "Oh, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. I have done this, I have done that, whatever." And he says, "Go out and pray on the rosary 3,000 times and wash away your sins." Or you're eating a you're eating a wafer that's the body of Jesus, and drinking some Welch's grape juice that's the blood of Christ. These are all symbolism craziness. This is cannibalism. This is pagan. You know, I
Mhm.
myself did not understand this myself until I just was curious and asking these Buddhist people in Japan questions, and I realized how crazy I was being a Christian. I was just on the verge of insanity, believing that the person that says he'll love me till eternity will burn me forever if I don't reach a certain level of love and understanding with him. So if you ever have a child, no matter how bad that child gets, you may want to spank him, you may want to punish him, you may want to scold him, but you would never be to the point of being a father that would want to burn that child on fire for an eternity because he just super pissed you off. No.
But do you know, I want to ask you a question. Do you understand that being a Christian or being a believer of Jesus Christ, there's nothing you need to do to be safe? There's nothing absolutely you can do to buy your to buy your way to heaven. Being a good person is good, but accepting God, he said, there's nothing you can pay him to get your way to heaven. The only thing is to love yourself, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So this commandment of love, I mean, don't. There are a lot of religious sects. I call it religious sects that use the Bible for their own benefit to interpret the way they want to interpret. But if you read the Bible and you understand what I understand from the Bible, the greatest commandment of God is love. And then if you love your neighbor as you love yourself, you take care of the needy. You say, he said, on that day, he will say, I had no shelter and you gave me shelter. I had no food and you gave me food. I had no clothes to wear and you gave me clothes. I had no shoes to wear. You gave me shoes. I had nothing to eat. All those things, And these things that they're being mentioned is love. You go out sometimes, you give a coin to a child on the street. You go out sometimes, you buy somebody a loaf of bread. You go out sometimes, you do this, you do that. On your niece, you get them a birthday cake. All those things, those things are adding up to the love. Is love that you're sharing. That love that Jesus says, when I will say that I had no clothes to wear and you gave me clothes, I have no food to eat and you gave me food, I have no shelter. And then you will ask, when was that? Where did I give you clothes? Where did I give you this? And he will reply that little child that you bought this a piece of bread on the street, that's what I want you to do. That's what you did it for me. Okay? That person that you gave him shelter or you gave your umbrella to cover when it was raining, all these things that you did in the name of love, you did it for Jesus. So where do Christians go wrong here?
Because they're believing in something that's basically the same as Santa Claus. Okay? Um, there's no grave anywhere for Saint Nick. There's no grave anywhere for Jesus. Matter of fact, no one mentioned in the Bible has a grave. There's no possibility of finding any of these people who are mentioned in the Bible. No grave, no bones, nothing. Okay, wait. The Bible didn't always exist. The Bible was written and edited by men. The Bible has changed thousands of times. And you are the religion you are because of who conquered the land you were born on. Here's a good example of this. Look at every Spanish speaking country around the world. What religion are they most likely to be? Catholic. Why is
Yes.
that? Why is that?
Mm.
Because the Spaniards were Catholic. And when they
Right.
conquered those countries, they made those people Catholic. The reason why the Philippines is mostly Catholic is because the Spaniards were last here and they converted the Filipino people overwhelmingly to Catholicism. Okay?
Right.
The Middle East, they're Muslims because the people that conquered their land are Muslims. Okay? Wherever you
Mm-hmm.
find religion, it goes with whoever the victor of the conquest is. You're not a Christian because of some divine enlightenment that you chose that. It was acceptable and taught to you until it became a common practice wherever you were from. But if
Mm-hmm.
Christians were to look at the facts and study the Bible, and I went to college before I became a Buddhist, I was already on my way to breaking away from Christianity. Once I met a professor with a PhD that said he was a devout Catholic all of his life, his family, everything, and believed everything there was in the Catholic teachings until he had to do his college work to become a doctor, get his PhD. And the more he read, the more he studied, and the deeper his knowledge got, the more he understood that he was following a flawed lie, that it
Well,
just
I
didn't
would like
add
to.
up.
I would like to come in here a bit to say something. The things of God, men cannot understand. The ways of God, men cannot understand. The more a professor tries to understand the ways of God, the more they become confused. I will always say this: spiritual things should be spiritual things and should not be studied by professors, by this. So that's why there's a calling to be a man of God. There's a calling to join the priesthood. There's a calling to preach the gospel. It's not everybody that can actually preach the gospel. This thing we are doing here, I'm not preaching the gospel to you. I'm just trying to say that as a believer, I know that there are things I will not understand deeply in the Bible or in Christianity, and I don't even seek to understand those things. Why do I not seek to understand those things? Because the moment I start seeking to understand those things, the moment the devil steps in to confuse me the more. The first thing is I believe in Jesus. The second thing is I follow the commandment of love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I make sure that nobody will go to bed stressed because of me, or nobody will have any, I will not commit anything that will cause another human being to feel bad. These are the things that I follow, and these are the standards that I try to live my life, right? Now, I see Buddhists living their life also like this, and I also see Buddhists committing murder and a lot of crimes. It doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that as a Christian they don't commit crimes. The Christians that also commit crimes. But I just want to bring back this point. As a Christian, if you don't have that aspect of love, which is very, very important, then you are not a Christian, you are a fake Christian. And if you go around judging what people are doing and say, he's doing this because of he's a Christian, no, he's not doing that as a Christian. He's doing that as him or her. And he's being probably, how do you say, attacked by the devil. The devil uses people to do things, not in the name of Christian, not in the
Wait a
name
minute.
of Buddhism.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
Right.
minute. Do you believe or not believe that this thing called the devil and hell did not always exist in the Bible?
Okay. Let me explain to you my version of the devil.
No, 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 no,
You
no,
are
no,
my
no, no,
friend.
no. I
I'll
understand
give
that.
you, before I answer that question, I want to explain to you my understanding and my version of the devil. You are my friend.
Yes,
We
yes,
go
but
out.
we're getting away from the topic. What I'm saying is I
Right.
understand that you believe that and I believe this, and that's fine. But what I'm saying, I go back to the original question that you just said that we can't all understand the workings of God. So how am
Hmm.
I going to follow something that I can't understand? If I'm going to become a mathematician, but I can't understand math, how would I ever get good at it? Why would you invent something that most of the people cannot understand? Only a few will ever understand the workings of God through a calling. That makes, from my perspective, view, no sense whatsoever. Okay, so I get into this with religious people all the time. So I leave it alone. There's no end to this. There's no answer to this because our minds have been conditioned in a way that no matter what's said, they still go back to the bedrock that they've been taught by their parents, their neighbors, their friends, their church over the years. And it can't be changed because you are who you are at this point based on an accumulation of all the things that you've accepted along the journey to this point. So we can't change each other. All I can say is there is no way humanly possible for a person that truly sees the Buddhist light to ever accept anything of the Christian beliefs. One is based on reality, and the other is based on a book written by people that's highly subjective. So it's a debate that can't be won or lost. It's just the ongoing debate that will be here to the end of time. And I said it as a friend that people that have accepted Jesus, they will stay in that camp no matter what, and they believe that, and that's fine. That's fine, you know. But some of us, for whatever reason, run across other things that tell us, oh, you may have made a mistake. Take a look at these facts. And I think there's just an overwhelming breadth of evidence to say that the Bible is myth, made up stories. And it's just something that's the masses want. They can have it. But few people will break away and understand that's not the path for me. And that's all I'm saying. That's not a path that could ever even be considered for me.
I don't know, Nat. I
Okay.
know somebody who became a Christian who was a Buddhist. I
Huh?
have a buddy. I have a buddy back home. He was a piano player, and he was a Buddhist, and then he became a Christian
Oh, that
after
happens a
school.
lot. That happens a lot. Yeah. You're going to be influenced by where you're at, who you run into, what you accept as believable and not believable. But I think if we were to get 20 great scholars in this room right now, there's more overwhelming proof that the Bible is false than being real. It can start right there from in what chapter is Moses born? Exodus? But he is in Genesis. So he's in Genesis before he's
Is there,
even born in Exodus.
No, he's
is
not
there,
in Genesis.
there's
Huh?
no Moses in Genesis. It's Abraham in
Yeah,
Genesis.
yeah. Moses isn't in Genesis. He's in Exodus, but he wrote the first five books, the Torah. You know, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers.
How how can you write Genesis and you're not born until Exodus?
because God revealed it to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but see what we go back to is Do you guys believe in court systems? You know, what is considered testimony. Like if I came in and I said, I was standing in the room and I saw you shoot this person and they died. That's a credible witness. But if I said, Julian told me he saw this person shoot that person, that's hearsay. Okay? The Bible talking about Jesus was written more than 300 years after he supposedly died. So that means all of it is hearsay. There's no actual witness. And when they talk about Jesus in the desert talking to Satan or being in the desert, it's only two people are talking to God and all. Who's writing this? Who's the scribe? There's 1,000 flaws that can be pointed out if you ever open to actual research. And when I had to take theology and religion in
Mm.
college because I couldn't pass humanity. I couldn't get past
Okay.
Hercules and
Okay, Uncle Ned,
uh,
let's let's get let's get
Julian.
let's hear from Julian. Let's hear from Julian. Julian is just joining us. Actually, the topic of today was not about Christianity or Buddhism. It's just that it came up and we had to address it. But if Julian has anything to contribute on this, I will give him the floor. If he doesn't have anything, we will move on to the topic of today and trash it. Okay, Julian, say something.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I was I was just looking at this earlier in terms of relates to the top, well, this topic, not like the actual topic, but I was just reading this. This is from 2 Corinthians, right? Verses 11 through 12. It says, "For what man knoweth the things of a man, but the spirit of a man that is in him? So the things also that are of God no man knows, but the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of this world, but the Spirit that is of God, that we may know the things that are given us from God." So I do think it requires some sort of like assent of the faith, just believing, so to speak, um, in terms of like, especially like God and Jesus Christ. It does require some sort of like, I'm just going to trust this situation. You know what I mean? Not necessarily just like, okay, this is like a scientific method. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
things that can be proven scientifically, or matters of attestation and things like that. Of
Blind
course,
faith.
yeah, like I wouldn't say blind, but assent of the faith, because all religions involve some sort of assent of the faith, because we can't see it, so we just have to believe it. Like, Buddhism, Judaism, Islam, Christianity all involve some sort of like, okay, I have to believe this to be true in order to be in the religion. You know what I mean?
Right. But either way, the religious argument never ends, and is one of the reasons why there are wars going on in the Middle East, in Israel, everywhere in the world. Religion has caused more wars than bring peace to the world, and that's why when brothers start talking about this one is good, this one is perfect, I would just want to say, let each and every one of us live his or her life according to the way he deems it necessary and deems it good for him. So long as you find peace, so long as I know that Jesus Christ is my Savior, and you know that this person is your Savior, let's all live and live in peace. The way, if we can live in peace, this is my own uh, uh, um, uh, way of seeing it. If we can live in peace and both have our different beliefs, and the Muslims will not be killing Christians, or Christians will not be killing Muslims. Uh, I have never heard of Buddhists killing anybody. So that's still one thing. But so long as we can live in peace, it's a difficult thing when these religious arguments and wars keeps coming up. I don't think that Jesus ever asked anybody to kill on behalf of him. So if there are any people killing for Christianity, which I know that there was persecution before, that is wrong, and we cannot accept that. As Christians, we cannot say it's right. I know the Catholic Church did some wrong things. I don't think that Muhammad ever asked anybody to kill. If ever he did, then I think that is wrong. We all know that these things are wrong. We all know that these things are wrong. We don't need uh, we don't need any religion to tell us what is right or what is wrong, but we need religion to save us. Save us from sin. That is all. That's all I will say. If we have anything to say about this, we can use at least 2 minutes before we go to our usual topic, our topic of the day. If we don't have, let's just move on to our topic of today. Uncle Ned, do you have anything, or should we move? Uncle Ned, are you there? I think your microphone is muted. Okay, Juju, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Any addition to this topic, or should we move on? It's Lent period. There's no need for argument.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. Jesus Christ is Lord. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay, that's it. So our main topic of today, I think we lost on Connect, was, is it important when somebody is moving over to the Philippines or to Southeast Asia to have a point of contact, and how important is it? And what's your own opinion? Point of contact simply means having somebody that will direct you, will basically orientate you on what to do, getting what city to go to, the cost of living, all those kind of things. What's your opinion on this?
Yeah, I feel like you can't go wrong with definitely a mentor, and you definitely can't go wrong with a friend. And some people are blessed to have both, right? Especially in terms of moving overseas. I wouldn't even want to move somewhere in my own country, heck, even in my own state, without some sort of guidance or somebody to orientate me, whatever. Um, Now, in terms of actually finding these people, then you really got to do your research. You know what I mean? Because I had no idea until I came over here how difficult it truly was to be here. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
away from family, have to find an alternative way to make money. You know what I mean? Have to deal with the climate, have to deal with the locals, have to deal with the language. So I was definitely surprised because I had never
Hmm.
been abroad for a long period of time, more than 2 weeks. So yeah, you want to meet people out here. You don't want to be a stranger. You don't want to be that guy who just stays in his cocoon all day long. You want to actually like try to reach out to people and get friends and get involved because you never know who can help you and who you can help. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly. You know, like we said, everyday service always require introduction. If you are getting somewhere, and then you need anything, like I'm going to immigration. Before my first time to go to immigration, I didn't know what to do, what to expect, and
Right.
even the address. When I got there, I said I wanted to extend my visa. They said, you need an address. I'm like, what? Yeah, you
What?
need an address before you. I need an address, the address of where I live. And they didn't want me to provide any hotel address.
To extend your visa? Really?
Yeah, you need to write where you live, your address, your barangay, all those things. So I then
Seriously?
discovered that having somebody on the ground, you know, having somebody on the ground is very important. Probably, you haven't been to the immigration to extend your visa, have you?
No, I mean I last been in 2023. You know, that's when I was under the tourist visa, but I don't remember it being that difficult. The only thing I really had to provide was my passport, and they asked me if I wanted an ACR card. I said no, and then of course they want to know where you live, right? Because why are you
Uh-huh.
staying here in the Philippines without having your? But they didn't like ask for anything. They just asked me like, where do you live? I said San Jose. You know what I mean at the time.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But maybe it's changed. I guess I don't know. Has I guess it's changed since
Well,
2023. It's already 3 years now.
you need to prove yeah, yeah. You need to provide some detailed information, barangay, this house number, all those things. And you know, and then there's other you know about foreigner price.
Oh, of course. I hate it.
That's why well, you need a point of contact. You need somebody on the ground if you want to actually move and stay here. If you're coming as a tourist, that's cool. If you have 1 month or 2 weeks here, that's cool. Stay in the hotel, just go to where tourists are going. But if you want to move over here, you cannot just move without knowing anybody, because you will face what they call foreigner price. Even to
Yep.
rent a house, even to rent a house, the price that Julia will get for a house is not the price that you will get.
Uh,
You know, the
do what
moment
happened
you
to
walk
me?
in, huh?
My bad. My bad. I'm listening.
Yeah, go ahead.
I went to the store the other day because I had to get change. Supli, right? That's change. If anybody wants to remember that, Supli. I had
Mm,
to get some change for 500 because I had taken a tricycle. And I go up
mm,
to the fruit stand. I'm like, yeah, give me 2 oranges. And she's like, and she looks at me, and then she looks at her brother, and then she looks at me. She says, 40 pesos each. And I'm like, oh, sure, that's cool. 40 pesos each for orange, because I thought Julia told me that the one she goes to, they sell them for 50 pesos. So I'm like, oh, I'm getting a 10% discount. Um,
mm.
and so I bought the oranges or whatever. Next thing you know, I told Julia, she's like, she charged you how much? I'm like, 80 for the two of them. She's like, what? They should have been 20. And so I'm like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, they should have been 20. You should have got four oranges instead. You got two. In my mind, I'm thinking, bro, 40 pesos. Yeah, that's like 80 cents per orange, but who cares? You know what I mean? I'll just go ahead and
Mm.
eat it. But I could have got four for the same price. So you got to know somebody. You got to learn the
Yeah,
typical
yeah.
takpera, makano, bilana, all of that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it bilana? Pilana, right?
Mm.
How much? No, not pera. What's the other one? Pilina. Not takpera. I already know that one. Makano. And then what's the other one in Bisaya? Pilana. Takpilana. Okay. Yeah. So you got
You
to
know,
learn those terms.
my friend there, Pastor John. Every time we go somewhere, he always say, "Stay in the car, stay in the car." And so he always say, "Stay in the car," right? So
Hmm.
there was one day it was raining so hard, and we had a tire puncture. We were there in Palompong.
Hmm.
We went to Palompong, so I got out first because we needed to change the tire. I just said, okay, let's buy a new tire. Let's buy
Hmm.
two new tires for the back instead of trying to like repair those tires. They were already old. And then when I step out, the guy immediately says 11,000.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
And
He
it's,
told you
it's
not to come up.
11,000 for the two. So it's 5,500 each.
Jeez.
You
My
know,
God.
I got back to the car and said, that's the price. He said, no, that's not the price. Let's go. He drove and dropped me somewhere, went back to the same store. and got it for 4,300 each.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
So, so the two became 8,600 instead of 11,000. I'm
Mhm.
like, I even tried to ask this guy for 5,000 and said, no, that's the price. I'm like, bro, you got to know somebody in this place to save some money. I'm like, I thought I didn't know the good of going around with a local that
Mm.
cares about you. But when I discovered that I actually save more money, I remember I went into a bolalo. The first time I was here, I went into a bolalo place, and then they sold that for 250 pesos. The same place when we went back the next day, it was 100. The same dish. And then
Yeah.
I started asking the person, but yesterday I came here and you sold it for 250 pesos. He said, oh, because you ate here. I'm like, what's the difference of eating here and take away? Like, oh, you use the services and this, that. I'm like, bro. So
They'll get
just
you.
sitting on the chair and eating here is 150 pesos extra.
Right. To
So
sit down.
that is very, very uh, important to have point of contact. Cultural reasons too, relationship first, and then cultural issues, society, and all those things. What do you think about? Is it important to know somebody so as to, I mean, breach that cultural shock?
I feel like it's important. And a lot of dudes, they just come here, off their own strength. You know what I mean? They just come in, they say, I'm just gonna plop down and I'm just gonna set up shop, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's best to just
Yeah.
make contact with people because, bro, like I hate to say it, I love Filipinos. We talked about this before, but you cannot trust everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
on top of that, we talk about chismes all the time, like gossiping, whatever.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. People will false gossip about you. It's just a fact. They will make up stories. So that's why it's best to be around people so at least they can verify
Uh-huh.
and clarify. You know what I'm saying?
Right, bro. At some point, I was like, "What is going on?" Somebody is telling me this, and somebody is telling me this, and somebody is telling me this. Oh, we heard you are dating this person. Oh, we heard you are dating this. I'm like, where are you guys getting all this news from? Who is that? Like, they just basically see you talking to somebody and
Mm,
smiling, and then it's like, you
exactly.
know, and then before you know it, it's a different. That is the news going around is different. Somebody says this, and then this person will take it and say it the other way, and then the whole
Exactly.
community knows they're saying different things about you, and none of those things, none of them, just assumptions. None of them are actually true. And then
Man.
I was talking to one girl, and she said, "Oh, I know you." I said, "But I've never met you before." Like, yes, I
Mm,
have a friend that lives in this place that knows you. I said, okay, what does it? And then you are dating this girl, blah blah. I'm like, God, my God. And this girl doesn't even know that I have anything to do with her. I mean, we don't even like, as you said, or talk. Probably we greet each other normally, but there's nothing. It's like, yes, I know you're dating this person. Please don't cheat on her. She's a good person. I'm like, no way. Where do you guys get all this fake news from?
I,
And
I
then,
missed that. I missed the fake news. What is it?
yeah, I mean the chismes
Daddy
in
got
the
a girlfriend.
Philippines. You know anything about chismes about gossiping?
Chismis about gossiping?
Chisme is
Chismis.
like you live. Okay, for example, you are living in Bohol, and then somebody will go and say something completely different about you that is not real. Like you don't even know that that thing is going on, and then
Uh,
they will say it, and then somebody picks it up and say it to another person in a different way. Before you know it, the whole community is saying something different about you.
that's life. That's all over the world.
Telephone game is what we call it back home. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. That's the grapevine.
Right, that's true.
Heard through the grapevine.
That's right. That's right.
All through your life in the Philippines, have you ever faced the foreigner price?
The foreigner price, you mean like the Filipinos are paying 50 cents a kilo and I'm paying 80 cents a kilo, that kind of thing?
Yeah, have you faced that issue before?
Of course. All the time. My first 3 years here. But
Oh
there's
my goodness.
one way to beat that. And I don't blame them for doing that. They are seeing an opportunity that they are selling at the minimum and they know that you can afford much more and they're going to see if you'll buy it. But the thing that I realize is that if you go to a Filipino market that's selling fruits and vegetables and you ask them, how much is this in English? You're going to get
Mm-hmm.
the foreigner price. But if
Mm,
you ask them, how much is this in Wadai or Tagalog, you're going to get the
mm.
Filipino price. You know why?
No.
If you're speaking English, you probably ain't been here long enough to really know the deal. So they're going to cheat you. But if you're speaking to them in their language, they're going to say, he's been around. He already speaking my language. I better tell him the real price.
You
And you'll
know,
get,
I'll tell you something that happened today. There's this guy that I always go and I always buy eggs from. And every time I go there, he will sell them for 300 pesos. So today I went there and I just took out 300 pesos and gave him. And then he gave me back 20 pesos. He said, no, it's 280. I said, what happened? Did you, did the price change or anything? He said, no, you're my customer.
see?
I was like,
Hey,
it's like,
Yeah,
he said, no, you
you
are my
now get
customer.
the Filipino price because they like you. They've
Yeah,
accepted
he
you.
knows. Yeah, I always go to him and I always pay 300 pesos. And I have paid that 3 times. So today he gave me back 20 pesos and said, you are my customer. It means the original price is 280.
That's right.
I didn't know. I
But
was
you've
like, thank
earned
you,
it.
thank you.
You've earned it. And now you and him are friends. You're going to get the
Yeah, we are
Filipino
friends.
price from now on.
Right. We were friends. So
But you gotta
I
learn.
was I was feeling like he's been cheating me, but he's honest now. So I didn't know if I should be happy for being
They don't
cheated.
view it like that though. Like they don't view it like they cheating you. They view it like, bro, you're in my country and I know you got it. So therefore I'm gonna
That,
take it.
I
Yeah,
agree. I agree with you, Julian. That's right. That's the way I see it. I agree.
yeah. So sometimes I went out to buy, was it pork in the market? And then before I got to that place, the pastor just said, hey, get back to the car, get back to the car. I said, why, why? He went out and said, okay, he bought I think he bought a kilo of pork for 280. And then the same kilo of pork they were selling for me for 320. I'm like, okay.
You got a
Yeah.
special fee attached to you.
So
Yeah.
it's
The
funny.
business fee.
But see, the problem is a lot of foreigners don't catch on in time, you know?
Hmm.
Um,
That's why.
but
Mhm.
The taxis are a good thing. When I used to be in Manila, before there was Grab, um, the taxi drivers, if they saw a foreigner, oh, the price was going to be whatever they felt like that day and all. But if you're up there long enough, you know from this mall to my hotel is 150 pesos. Before you get in the cab, you negotiate the price and you open the
Right.
door and he says, "Oh, get in, let's go." And I'll say, "How much?" And then he'll say, "Up to you." And I'll say, 150. He'll say, "No, no, no, no." But you get it worked out before you get in the cab.
Mm.
And you tell them the price. And if you hit the price that they know it really is, they'll know that this guy has done this before. And he'll make a decision. I'm going to not take this fare, or okay, that's a good price. They know the price and they know who knows the deal, but you got to be smart. Many foreigners just jump in and ask the price at the end of the ride. And then there's the problem. It's too late.
That's very true. The first time I got to Manila at the airport, I wanted to take a taxi, and the guy said it's 1,000 to go to the hotel. But I already checked the hotel from there, and it was not even more than 3 kilometers from there. It was basically, there's a place opposite called uh, Palm Tree Hotel or something like that. And
Uh huh.
then that is just like you have to go through. Once you cross over the road from the hotel from Terminal 3, you are already in that hotel. So he just needed to take me, go take a U-turn, and then get there. He said it's 1,000. I was like, my God, because I already checked the GPS. So I went to where they were booking the Grab. I went to book the Grab taxi, and then the Grab person says, "Oh, the place you are going, there's no need to book Grab. Just pay 200, and I'll tell somebody to pick you there." I said, "No, I insisted to book Grab. You
Yeah.
know, I insisted to book Grab, and then you know what? When they book Grab, how much I paid?
Probably.
68 pesos.
Yes.
I was
That's what.
like,
Yes. That's what we call in New York. They're trying to run game on you.
and then not to even talk of my SIM card. This SIM card I'm using, this Globe SIM card, the first time I entered Manila, my friend said, when you get to the airport, buy a SIM card there and then recharge your internet. Then when I got there, it was a lady boy. I can't forget this lady boy. Bastard. And sorry for saying that. He said, "Oh, your package is 2,000. 2,000, we're gonna give you unlimited internet for one month or something." You know. And then I tried to argue, say, "No, that's the price here. If you don't pay here, you can go." And he knows that I had no option. I was, I didn't even know how things were working, and I could not contact my guy because I needed to contact him when I have internet. So I needed to recharge my internet so I can get to him. So I had no option to pay that 2,000. And when I called him, he said, "Oh, you got your internet already. How much was your SIM card?" I said, "I paid 2,000 for the whole package." He shouted. So what?
Ah, yeah.
2,000 is
The
insane.
I
airports
was just
around the
like,
world.
what? I'm like,
Yeah. The airports around the world are the worst places. They're all,
It is
you
insane.
know, when you arrive in Manila, did you notice that the taxi cabs are different colors? There's white, yellow, and green.
right.
The yellow ones are airport taxis. They're a completely different rate, and it's almost double or triple the price of the white taxi. Were
Hmm.
you aware of that?
No, I'm
I
just
never
learning
took a
from you.
single taxi here. I always take
Huh?
Grab. Never took a taxi.
Yeah, but when you arrive at the airport, if you don't take Grab, like I always do Grab, yeah. But if you get into one of those taxis at the airport, do not get in the yellow or that's your butt. You're really just taking yourself and inflicted damage. And
Oh my
also
goodness.
at the airport, if you go to the back of the airport where the employees are walking out the back door or whatever, there's a bus there that you can
Mm-hmm.
take that bus throughout the city for like 50 pesos.
Wow.
Yeah, they
I
don't
don't
put
like
the
no
bus.
bus though.
This
No, no,
this
not no. This is a regular big city bus like you would see in a real city and all. If you
mm,
go back there, they don't put the bus up front because that would mess up the taxi guys making some money. So they put it
right.
in the back, and the people that work there know it's there, and they use that to go to and from work, to and from the city. But yeah, these are things you learn after you've been here a little while. But they'll run game on you in any major city in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why these things happen in every airport. Every airport. There's no single airport that is very transparent. All the airports I've been to, there's always a taxi man coming up to you and trying to get more money than is paid. I
Yeah,
don't know why. When I got in Thailand, my first time in Thailand, I paid almost, was it $30 just for a simple ride? Something that
That's insane.
you pay $206.
yeah. Because airport, all the newbies coming that may never have been there before, they don't know. That's the guy to get. They're not going to try that with you in the province or somewhere because they're like, he got all the way here. He must know somebody, or the guy in the province might live next door to you or whatever. So he's less likely to cheat you. But those taxi drivers up there in Manila, you may never see him again. So he's going to get all he can get from you the first time around.
That's it. That's it. That's true. That's true. It's like
I
that
feel like in
everywhere.
addition in
Hmm.
addition to that, I feel like um, either you get like luxury, right, like private rider, whatever, private driver, or you just get thrown into a sardines can. But depending on what you want, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
don't mind paying 300 pesos if I'm gonna have my own car, but at the same time, it's just like if I can get somewhere for 30 pesos, like when we landed at Mactan to get to Lapu Lapu, wherever Mandaue, to get to Mandaue was only 30 pesos from the airport. And I'm like, the only reason why we took it is because Grab wasn't working. Otherwise, I'd be like, I just want my private car. But I'm like, you know what? 20 minutes of a ride, 30 pesos, why not? Let's just do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It just took you over
And
the
then
bridge.
how
You
was
should
it?
have went
How
over
was
the
the ride?
bridge, right?
Yeah, over the bridge. Yep.
Yeah.
How
And
was the ride?
that's
Was it good?
Huh?
How was the ride?
Oh, these people drive like bats out of hell. It was terrible. It was awful.
well, let me ask
But
both of you guys. Do y'all take jeepneys since you've been in the Philippines?
I'm way too big to get in a jitney. I can't even fit in one of them things. I
I
take
took
up the
one.
whole jitney when I get in there.
I took one in Manila. I was going out with my friend in Manila, and we took one. So I thought that it was one for me and one for him. And then
Exactly.
I, I got in, and I was waiting for the guy to go. And then I saw my friend coming in. I'm like, what's going
Oh
on
boy.
here? And then the two of us were in there, and then he was still waiting. And I saw another person coming by the back.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is an experience I've never. That thing is just, I don't understand. So we were like 4 or 5. 4 or 5. Just imagine my size.
Exactly.
But don't they have that tuk tuk in Bangkok?
No, tuk tuk is not like that. Tuk tuk has a lot of space, and tuk tuk take
Yeah.
3 people or 4 people, depending. Tuk tuk has 2 seats, like there's two in front, two behind. A big
Like the
one,
motorcycle.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're kind of that blue thing, kind of like a almost a modified pickup of some type.
A tuk tuk is well made because the driver is there sitting in front alone, and then there's a two back seats, so two can sit two and two. There are 2 rows.
Yeah, I'm taking them, but the jeepneys, I think you two guys need to take them in to Kloban just to get a feel. You have to take the jeepney to really feel the Philippines, the grit, the
Oh, I
closeness.
feel the Philippines. When I take a jitney, I feel it. I feel like a
And you,
sardine.
Ah,
People just all close to me. I'm like, I don't want to touch you. I don't want you to touch me. Like, I
but
can't. I'm
see,
sorry. I
yeah,
can't take it.
see, but that gets that foreigner off of you. See,
True.
when we're foreigners, we don't like to be touched, but the Filipinos are crawling all over each other, and that makes them more friendly because that was my problem the first 2 years I was here. I would get in a jeepney, it's raining, people would get in all wet, and they would be all over me. I'd be wet and everything. I'd be like, I'd be pissed off.
you know,
But my wife
you
would
know what?
say, you shouldn't be angry. That person's been out there suffering, working all day. They got wet and everything. Now they want to get on a jeepney and go home, and you're pissed off that now you've got a little dampness on you. Who's really at fault? My
You know what to do?
sensitivity.
I need to park this car and for some time and just have that experience. When I'm going to the north, going anywhere, I'll just take a jeepney and go. And then I want to experience that. I want to
Yes,
have
you
that
have to.
experience.
You're not really in the Philippines until you've been on a jeepney 4 or 5 times, and then you get the understanding of why they are nice and polite to each other.
Okay.
I don't really take them. I mean, sometimes when I'm leaving Robinsons and I got groceries, I'll take the one, but the one that I take literally will have like 2 people in it. Like it's never. It'll be me and Julia, and then like one other person or 2 other people, like an old grandma who can sit on the other side, her own. But in
Hmm.
terms of taking one of those pack jitneys, I'd rather walk, honestly.
Yeah, they have this in Thailand. They call it Zontayong. Zon Zontayong, yes, Zontayong in Thailand, where people just hop in. They hop in, and it's very cheap, and they drive all everywhere. So I
Yeah,
used to get this a lot when the first time I was there, and I didn't have a car. I used to like it though because the
yeah. The
moment you
first
step
time,
in,
yeah, yeah.
the moment you step in, the grandmother will tell you the first thing is, "Are you married? Why are you single? I have a daughter," and I love that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. When I get to Cebu, years ago, the first thing I would do is get on at the mall and I'd catch any jeepney. I just remember the number, and I'd take it and ride it to its end, and then ride it back. Get off of that jeepney, catch another one. That way, I saw the whole city and knew where each of the jeepneys went to. So wherever I was at, and I saw a jeepney, I would look at the number, and I knew where it was going. And that's how I could get around because I'd already rode them. They only cost like 10, 15 pesos, which is about 30 cents. So it wasn't expensive. And you can see the whole city and learn the whole city. Now, whenever I'm with my wife and I'm in Cebu, I can tell her, oh, Landers is over here. S&R is over there. This mall is over there. And she doesn't even know, and she's a Filipina.
That's what I need to do. I need that.
Yeah, you need to ride those jeepneys. You
I need
guys do know what S&R is, right?
Oh yeah, it's like the Costco.
the
Right,
sea. You mean
right.
the seaside mall?
Oh, Seaside Mall is humongous with 1 million people in it.
Yeah, in Cebu, right?
That's the Moa of Cebu. Yeah, it's the biggest in Cebu. It's big, and there's a lot of people in there.
Yeah, there's another one that I went there, and I actually like it because the setting is nice. People are friendly. I walk everywhere, and then there are just these beautiful women smiling at me,
Ayala,
like probably. And then somebody told me that that place is a point of contact where girls come out to look for foreigners.
I think the girls are all over looking for a foreigner that's walking alone. That right there just tells them if he's walking alone, he's fair game, and they
Yeah,
will. Uh,
there's nothing more beautiful than to have a good smile from a beautiful girl in the.
You mean nothing more dangerous?
yeah, yeah.
You know, everything before the danger zone. You always see like this is a good heaven. This is heaven before you get to hell. You know the story. You know the story of one guy he went to hell. They said okay, he went to heaven and he saw everything was cool. There were people are praying, quiet, calm. You know, no. First he went to hell, and then people were partying. Everything was good, drinking, dancing. It was like the real life on earth. And then Satan said, "Oh, you want to go check out hell?" He said, "Okay, yeah, go check out." And you want to go check out heaven? He said, "Yeah, cool, go check out heaven." He went to heaven, and then everybody was praying, being holy, quiet, every place, everywhere clean. You know that kind of. Uh, you live in a place where have you been to the monastery where every place is quiet? The next person you see is passing very silently, doesn't want to cause no noise, and then Jesus asked him, "Where do you want to go?" He said, "Take me to hell." He went back to hell. The moment he got back to hell, it was all fire, and everything has changed. And then, and then he said, "But this is not how it was when I got here." And then they tell him because the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. They always lie to you before you discover the real thing. So that's how it is. When you see those fake smiles and everything, remember there will be hell after that.
Like we say back home, never trust a large backside in a smile. You know what I'm saying? That's what we say back home.
I think that was a song one time. Yeah. All
You
right.
know,
Well, I got to do some things here, and
before you do anything, I would like to end the live, but I want to end with this. We always say that if the backside, if the ass was not a coward, it will not be hanging behind. That's an African saying. What that big ass you see, if it's not a coward, it will not be hanging behind. Let's end the day with this. And thank you, gentlemen, for joining. Shout out to Juju of Lete. If you're not subscribed to Juju of Lete, please subscribe to Juju of Lete. That's his YouTube channel.
Meditate Life
Shout
Juju.
out to
Yes,
Uncle
sir.
Ned. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for your contribution today. Shout out to Breezers TV, Breezers Cafe, and every person uh, uh, working with Breezers. Shout out to Kuya Joel. Kuya Joel, you know, our chef, our main chef today had his baby. The wife delivered a baby. I don't know if it's a baby boy or baby girl, but I know the wife delivered. So shout out to him and congratulations to our Kuya. Tomorrow I'll be going there to check on him and see what I can do for the baby. So Breezers TV will be visiting him tomorrow. Thank you very much for joining and everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. See you on Monday, 8 p.m. Bye for now.
God bless, guys. Take it easy.
Right. Okay.